So I guess we're gonna start. Just gonna say good afternoon to everybody, and thank you for being part of this new third Thursday RogiiAI webinar, calling the top 10 ROGII feature for the year 2025. It's not the third Thursday, it was supposed to be the last Thursday, but I was sick and I lost my voice, so I wasn't able to speak. So that's why we like 1 week, and apologies for that. My name is Carlos Llanes, and I'm working for the technical sales team at ROGII here in the Houston office, and I'm here, like Rob introduced himself, to doing this webinar. So we're going to start doing that one right now. So let's go a little bit with the agenda. It's going to be a short introduction. Like I said, my name is Carlos Llanes, and I'm working with the ROGII team. Rob already did his introduction. We're going to go to the Power Up with ROGII 2025, the most impactful features. We're going to talk about those top 10 features for the year 2025. We're going to go with some Q&A session during the presentation and probably at the end. So the presentation today, we have kind of an idea to show the top 10 features that our team, our developer team, believes it was kind of really significant for the ROGII community. This one doesn't mean that they are the most important ones. Each person might have their own favorite feature that we released last year. So if you have any of the features or any of the changes that we apply to any of the ROGII tools, please put it in the chat if it's not in the list that I'm talking today, and I will really love to hear which one is your favorite one. I can probably give you during the presentation which one is my probably number two, number one favorite from all the time. That I'm not trying to be biased, it's my personal opinion, but we can go dig in. So basically in the presentation, what we're gonna talk is all the changes or the top 10 biggest changes we did in the ROGII universe, in the ROGII tool across the year 2025. Yeah, many of you they are aware that, for example, for the StarSteer, we do 3 major releases a year, but for the other application like DrillSpot or Data Manager or a StarLite Web or app, Solofeed, all of them, we do constantly changes in those applications to try to help our customers, to do a better workflows, hearing the customer with all the ideas, trying to implement those ideas inside our tools, and that's what we're gonna talk today. So here is the list of the top 10 most impactful features for the year 2025. Again, this list was, we asked all the products owners for all the different tools inside ROGII, and the order is not a specific order. It's just I put it in that order because it's gonna be easier for me to explain it for the people to follow up. So it's not like, AI season is more important than StarLite Mobile app. No, not at all. It's just it's going to make it easier. So here's the list that we have. So we have this Solo Data Factory. It's a new product with the Data Manager, and we're going to talk about that one in a second. We also introduced the AI Assistant integrated with a DrillSpot, which is our drilling management application in the StarSteer. On ROGII, we have the Data Manager, the AI Assistant, and also in the StarSteer. We have changes on the StarSteer, like a fast and more efficient way to bring and import completion data into the StarSteer, which is really, really nice to do it. We introduced the multiple Typewell geosteering capabilities. We also added the property mapping tool, which is, if you emphasizing one of my top 3, probably this one is a number 3. The StarLite Web. We added the correlation panel in the StarLite Web, DrillSpot for our drilling analytical tool. We added the anti-collision calculation and visualization Really, really nice and easy to use this tool. SoloFit, we introduced the SoloFit output. A lot of you, they're probably familiar with Solo Connect. So what we did with the Solo Connect, we actually integrated into the SoloFit family, and now we have input and output, and the output is a really powerful tool. The boss dashboard, we was uh, a tool we show in the recently year and a half, but we added automated DDR as a summary. Fantastic, fantastic information right there. We're gonna end it up with the StarLite for iOS. They can be for the mobile or for the app to show some update, home, and time data screen for that easy visualization. You pretty much you can see your boss dashboard. You can also see it in your StarLite in your mobile or your tablet. So it's a lot of super nice, useful tools that we're gonna talk about it. So let me minimize this one. Go here. Let me go here and open. So we're gonna start talking about the Solo Data Factory, or SDF, for the acronym and easy name. You're probably gonna hear us talking for the past year about SDF. So what is exactly was it SDF? So ROGII as organization over the year have seen the people, the users working with different data providers, and we were scratching our heads, say, well, why not giving our users something they can access directly inside the ROGII universe, inside the ROGII tools, without import, exporting, and all the stuff, just directly into the ROGII. So the idea was born, and we started getting information, well dated information from a lot of the regulatory agencies across the US and Canada. So we went to a bunch of regulatory agencies. We started looking for the data. For example, here in Texas is the Texas Railroad Commission. We started going into that regulatory, getting the information, cleaning up, organizing, and creating this beautiful database that we actually update daily. It's not like that you will see it right now is done and that's it. No, we upgrade it daily. We get data all the time inside the ROGII environment. We can also, we've been doing is going to different uh, uh, logs libraries and getting also the logs. We have the scanner scanning the logs, the paper log raster images, it calibrated to specific data and loaded into Solo Data Factory, which is going to give you well information that you probably don't find in some of the other vendors because we scanning and this we're talking about really old logs. So to access Solo Data Factory, you will see here that we have this tiny little box called SDF or Solo Data Factory, and you start seeing how those well start appearing. If I start zooming out, my project is right here in Texas, but I start zooming out, you start seeing how the data is populated. All those little dots or black dots or lines that you will see, those are the data we have been updating and feeding the Solo Data Factory. Like so I was mentioned, every day we have the team working, going into different regulatory agencies, getting the data and update it. Let's say the operator finished a well and it was showing in disposed into the Railroad Commission. In 48 hours, that information should be available for you. So if I go zoom out, you have here, we have in Texas, we have here the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, whatever name you want to call it. We have here Louisiana, we have the Haynesville. If we go a little bit zoom out, you can see they start populated from here, from our good friend from the north in Oklahoma. We have a plethora of data over there. We have here in New Mexico, we have in Colorado. If I go start zooming out a little bit, you can start seeing we have here on the Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Indiana, all that part. We have even North Dakota, Montana. If I go a little bit far here, we have our good neighbors in Canada. They have also a lot of information. This data is not the only one that you will see today. Is the one is only available. Like as mentioned, we added all the time, and our database is growing in kind of dramatically. every day. So if you don't see a state right now here with the data, I'm pretty sure in 1 month or two, you will see data for that state. It's the same here in Texas. If you don't see all the wells, we eventually are going to add those wells right there. So it's a super nice tool that we added inside the StarSteer. So let me turn this one off a little bit so we can have that one. So if we have here, I can show you real quick some statistics. This one is so far what the information we have, all the different data that we being uploaded. We have those our statistic for all the information that we have. But what else you can do with the Solo Data Factory? You're like, yeah, I have these directional wells. I have all that information. When I say we bring in information, we bring in a lot of information. So if I want to do the quick filter, I'm going to go here. Let me go from my water cut. So select my FDF well. I'm going to select the color here. I'm just going to add it. Voila. I have the water cut because that information is loaded inside the part of the SDF, and I can see the water cut for different wells here in Texas. If I go zoom out, we're going to see it from different other places, but we can play with that information. I can play here with the little bar. If I change it, you can see the different percentage and different colors change it. How about if you don't want to see the water cut? I don't know if you want to see, let's say, the 12 months oil production. So we can change that one. I can go here, change my color, whatever other colors that I want to select, and we can select the palette for the colors and play with which wells they have production, 12-month production, and all that information. But how about if I don't want to do the colors, I just actually want to filter the data. So here we have a extensive amount of different filters. You can filter the objects by logs, but if you have a gamma ray, RP, porosity, any type of information, inclination, everything. Or if you want to go and do it by formation types, I'm just going to put here the Buddha. Let me type in here, select my Buddha, apply that one, and right there, SDF shrinking to just the wells. They have also the Buddha formation picking on them. So it's a really super flexible tool. But what else you can do? Let's say that I'm gonna zoom in, and this one is the wells that I drill in, right? This is my list. I drilled this well. You can see my wells here in my gun barrel plot, but I wanna see the extra information, the well from my neighbor. I wanna just check how's the production with them. What was the spacing? All that extra data we can have for data providers. So I'm just gonna select them. I'm just gonna add them. I'm just gonna highlight it, just give it a few seconds. You can start seeing how the SDF wells they are charging and loading here on my gun barrel plot. So I'm just gonna zoom out, and I have a bunch of these wells just displaying here in my gun barrel plot. Even with the gun barrel plot, you can go here and change, and I want to display, I don't know, 12-month water, oil, and gas, and I can add it and see the production for those wells that I have over there. If I move the mouse on top of hover on top of any well, I can see the 12-month oil gas production. You can put up to 5 different attributes, and it's going to help you to see different information. This is my well, so I can even go here with the data, with the competitors data set where they are targeting. Oh, they are targeting here. I have my grid, and they're targeting the Upper Eagle Ford right here, or they go a little bit lower in the Caris on the Buddha. I can see the spacing between the well. I can go the measurement tool and measure the spacing when I plan in next well. Also, if you want to see that SDF data in a table format, I just click the table format. Let me move these guys right here, and I have that data right here. So I can see the production, all the attributes, and all that good stuff. If you want to export this one in Excel, click on export. You export in the values, numerical values in Excel. Or if you want to add that data into your project, all those wells and all that data that I just selected here, I just click here import, and it's going to move my well from the SSDF into the StarSteer. So making it super simple that I can use in my wells right away. So it's a really nice, super powerful tool that we added inside the StarSteer. Since we are here, if you remember the second part of the second one that I have, the top 10 tool, it was that we added kind of AI inside Data Manager, StarSteer, and DrillSpot. So here, the Data Manager, I'm just gonna go here. You see kind of the chimney looking. You got it here, and you have a personal assistant. So I can ask a question. Let's go, please give me a list of all the wells that have gamma ray. So if I spell please better, that will be nice. But anyway, I just added. So the AI tool is gonna go, it's gonna read my question and it's gonna help me with that one. It's right now it's gonna give me the list of all the wells that I have in my project. They have gamma ray, so it's going to get them populated. It's going to help me to find information. If I want to do something more specific, please point or give me the list of the well they have the KB, I don't know, 300, or give me the wells the list of the well they have API blah 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 blah. You can apply any of the questions right here because it's kind of an assistant. I will say this one is when you open Google and you have the search part in Google and they give you a kind of synopsis. It's kind of the same idea to help you here. So I just asked the question just for the wells that have gamma ray. I just gave them the information of the well name, the API information. I can just go here to my list and working with those wells right there. So I can find this information really simple, really fast. So that was pretty much the first one or two topics of the good changes. This one is actually the SDF. Remember that I was saying which one they were my top 10. This one is my number 2. Number 3 was actually the mapping that we're going to see in a few minutes. And this one is actually my personal number 2 of the top 10 ROGII products. I have another one, they're not the list, but this one is actually number 2. It's a fantastic tool that you can have with the data, your data provider that you have in the tip of your fingers, and you can simply use with the StarSteer. All right, so now we're gonna go to another of the changes that we added. This one is, we talked about it, it was how the way we started importing completion in the StarSteer. In the past of older version of StarSteer, you were always able to import completion data, but in that way we were using Python. It was actually quite simple, to be honest, but people kind of sometimes get hesitant with Python. They get a little bit scared. They think that they need to programming and doing the stuff with Python a little bit more deeper, and reality is not the case. It's just drag and drop information, and this Python is calculated. But listen to our clients, as we always do, and tons of good recommendation. We actually create a new way to import completion data into a StarSteer. So we have here a completion well already import the data. The way this completion data works right now, you can create a new attribute. It's called completion. You can import it directly here, and the completion is gonna look kind of a table like this, like everything that we have inside StarSteer. You have a table just for Excel, drag, import the data, and you can display the data. So let me show you real quick how can we do it, how simple it is. I have this well right here. We call it ROGII completion 6.7. You're not going to escape about the 6.7. So this one is the 6.7 well for ROGII for the completion data. So how the completion data actually works and how you can import it, let me move here my Excel spreadsheet. You have an Excel spreadsheet that the completion team sent it to you, and you have the data right here. You have the stages, the number of stages, the top and base of the stages, the hours it lives, total of propane, average pressure, any information that you have inside your Excel spreadsheet, you can bring it right here, no problem at all. So to import it, make it much easier, we can go here. I'm gonna create a new object. It's called the completions. It's gonna have the object here. I'm gonna open the Excel spreadsheet, and it's gonna tell, okay, just gonna add the stage. You can import it, again, drag and drop, or do it just this simple way. I'm just gonna select this one, just gonna select this data that I have, Control C, let's go minimize here. I just go Control V right here, voila. I just import the completion data in seconds. Again, you can do in the old-fashioned way, also importing the data, and it's going to matching apples with apples and bananas with bananas, or you can copy and paste. Super simple the way that you're going to import the data. So when you import the completion information, let's go back to this one. I'm not going to repeat the process. You have all the different attributes right here on your completion table. And if you want to display on the geosteering window, you can display on the cross section, or you can go here also on the horizontal panel. You select the attributes, just drag and drop. We have here the attributes. You can change the color palette if you want to something different. You can add even the values here and see that data right there, the completions in your geosteering window. But we're pushing a little bit farther than that. Not only the completion, you can see it right there. Let me drag here into my map view. I'm gonna add it right here. Let me go here, minimize this one for a second, and I'm gonna talk here with my good friend, the group tree. If you ask me which one is my number one of all the time in ROGII tools, the group tree probably is that one. Why the group tree? Because I like it so much, because everything is automatically concentrated in one place. So if I have to display completion information, I just go to the mapping, select the completion, voila. I have all the data, the completion. This one is for the ellipsoids. I didn't display here, but this one is part of the ellipsoids. I have the stages. I have all the different attributes that I created is possible to display on the map view. So making really easy when you're working with mapping, with working a lot of the stages, you can display, see all that information right there, even in the map view. But what else we can do? Not only in the map view, but we can also do it if you want to do it on the correlation panel. So I just create a correlation, added multiple my wells. They have completion data. I just create my tracks. I start adding the average, the stages, all that information, and I just create a correlation for the completion data. So it's a easier way also to visualize. And if we put you create a top set for the top and the base for the area that you're gonna do for the completion your stages, you can actually map in this one really simple and really nice in the correlation panel. If you don't want to do it multiple times, this is another tool that's super nice. Is you save it as a template, as a correlation panel. Voila, you're gonna be able to use it for multiple wells. So that is a fantastic tool for the completion. So that is one of the favorite for the developer team, and personally is in my top 10 too. So if we're gonna go now, we're gonna talk about the multiple type well. This one was introduced last year as well. It's not a 100% like super new tool. In previous version of StarSteer, you were able to do multiple type well. So you type well referencing. We have a type well referencing mode, which was a tool that was working fine, but it was a different mode. You have to go here, select the type well referencing. It was too much clicking, a little bit too much for making the user a little easier when they start steering the well and you're going to start working with StarSteer. So listening to a lot of the community, the developer team, decide to, okay, let's go make the process easier. Less clicking, just in one window that we can do in everything with a right click. So that's how we start working with the multiple well, type well functionality. You just basically go to your type well, right click on link, and you're gonna link your well. You're doing with multiple well if you have in your interpretation, and you're doing the same principle. Just generate your horizon, put your top, you right click, you generate all the horizon that you have and all the stuff, the same workflow, but instead to going to one mode, actually the workflow is doing the right click. A lot of the changes too that we added, for example, here is if you hover your mouse, you can see the top and the horizon's name match, which is gonna help you because it's a multiple type well to know which one is keeping the same thickness and same information right there. So if you see the check mark, is because the thickness of the formation, the interpretation, the top set is pretty much the same, But if you go to this one, it doesn't have the check mark. It's telling you that the thickness of the formation top is different for the top set. So because remember, we can use a probably different top set for creating the horizons and all that good stuff. So it's gonna helping you right here. So it's a fantastic tool that we added to make the life easier for our users. If you want to flatten, it's the same principle, just a right click. If you need to shift it, it's the same, it's a right click. If you want to shift it, put in the value, you can do it, or you can select your mouse and shift it, the information up and down. We even go here with the interpretation sheets. If you go to the match top, it's going to tell you which tie wall that you have, which tops are you using, and if it's matching with the horizon interpretation. So everything is helping right there inside the, the new tie wall tool. We actually have a really nice videos that explain this, and you can go to our YouTube channel that explain in detail how this tool works. So I 100% recommend it to watch the video. It was a really well done. Also, in a few seconds, I'm going to show you another of my favorite ones that is not in the top 10 according to the developers. It's really hard to put all of them in top 10, but it's another of my probably top 10 changes that within 25 that we added inside inside StarLite, and I will show you in a minute. All right, so let's move on, and I'm gonna show you another of the changes that we added. So this one is actually is a tool that I really like that we added inside the StarSteer, that it was the way that you can calculate and you can extrapolate and extract numerical values, and you can create maps based on numerical value. And that is as we call it, the property mapping. So how the property mapping works. So let's go to the super cool tool of the group tree. I'm gonna go here to the top set. So several version of stars here before we introduce something that we call in the zones. So a lot of people, they were asking what is the functionality of the zone, and all this one is related to this property is mapping. So with the zone, which pretty much is a tool that's going to take and it's going to create a table, a calculation for all the zones. With the zone, they're basically formation A, B, C, and D, so far so on. Then every single well or all the ones that you have in your project, and it's calculated right there. So for example, I have this well Challenger, and they have the Carrizo and the Wilcox, and that is going to create it as sum. It's the space between formation A and B and C and D, so far so on. You can manually create it going between formation A and F and W. If you want to create a bigger section, you can do it as well. But if you let it the software do it automatically, it's going to go stratigrammatically the way that you pick it up. So if you pick the formation tops in the well, it's well calculated right here. So also automatically it's going to create the MD and TBD thickness of all of them. Fantastic. So how we can use that information for the property. So doing that one, we created, beside this on the zone, we created this tool they call the attribute operations. So the attribute operation is a fantastic tool that's going to allow you to extract numerical value for any logs that you have inside your StarSteer project. So let's say that you have a gamma ray, you have RP, you have torque, you have porosity, V shale, water saturation, anything that you calculated petrophysical or imported inside StarSteer, they have a log. You can extract that numerical value and create a map, a layer. So in this case, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna select the gamma ray. So I'm gonna go to my curve, it's the gamma ray. And I have the gamma ray curve, which is fantastic because I have 168 wells in the whole project that they have information. And if you want to apply some filters on cutoff and all the stuff, you can do it. I'm not going to do it right now. I just keep it simple. I just click create the attributes right here, and it's just gonna let the software do it. So what the software is doing is going through the zone table and going, well, number one, between information A and B, what is the average for gamma ray? So because I select to do the average MD. So it's gonna do it to that table so far, so on. So when they finish, I just gonna go back here into my zone table. Let me arrange this one again, and I have in this well between these two formations, the average gamma ray was 144.77. So far, so on. So it's calculating those numerical value, extrapolated and calculated for every single well, for the half deformation and all that. So what is the point of using this tool that we call in the property? So now we're going to start talking right there. So right here, I can go to my zones, and it's going to tell, you know what, I want to create a map between the upper Eagle Ford and the lower Eagle Ford, because that's the area that I want to map in. And right here is going to tell me the attributes. I'm just going to do the average. If I have any boundary polygon, I can add the boundary polygon if I want. I have a one here, the grid outline. Let me turn this one right on. So this one is the polygon that I'm gonna use. I can drag and drop that one. If you have polygon, you're gonna go a little bit more into the different grids, and we can do that one. So I'm just gonna create here. I just did it, and voila. I just created a map, a grid based on a log curve information that it was extrapolated, and it was taken out of the curve for the LES file based on the top and base and create a map. I can do it for the gamma ray, or I just did it for the RP. You can do it for the torque. You can do it for any curve that you want. And it was a super easy way to do it. You saw that it took me a few actually clicks how to do it. It was is a fantastic tool. So that was one of the also the top 10 changes, and in my opinion, it should be there actually the list, because it's a tool that will help you to extract data that you don't have, or it's not, you don't think that you can map in, and you can add it. So if I want to change the style, I mean, you can do here most comedic, we can put it this style and make both of them, they look pretty much the same. Just gonna go here. Let me reset here, and here's my gamma ray. So that was one of also the top 10 changes that we added inside the StarSteer for 2025. Go back to the AI that we added. We also added here in StarSteer. If you go to the Python window, let me minimize. When you open your Python, you're gonna have it right there. So you can even ask, please create a script to export a list with all for, let's put it here, for all the wells with gamma ray. I always like to ask, please, because I remember the movie Terminator, the Skynet. So in the future, at least that computer is going to remember me, be a polite person. So what it's doing right now, different the other one, is creating a script for you. So it's just here, please create a script, and they give you the description, and the script is right there. You click run it, and it's gonna run it. You might need probably to tweak it a little bit if you have to, but you can always go back and forth. And this one is a really fantastic system for creating Python script. So if you're not a Python person, but you like to type and you like to describe stuff really good, this is fantastic tool. We still have the ChatGPT scripter. You can use this one or the other one. It's up to you. So this is also one of the additions that we added for the AI inside StarSteer. Great. So let's go. Any questions, Rob? Or so far you've been answering those?
Yeah, there's just one question about SDF that I answered, and we're all good to go to continue.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, let me get a little bit water. So continuing under the list that we have the changes inside the ROGII universe. One of the changes that it was on the list, it was to work with a StarLite. We have the correlation. But before going over there, this one is my personal list, and I actually have to add it right here, that you can bring the multiple type wells inside the StarLite, which is fantastic because you don't need to also work if in the StarSteer, if you have in a meeting or you have the workroom or the maxcom or whatever you call in the room, when you have the geosteering, you have the drillers and everybody discussing about the drilling operation. This one is a fantastic because you can put it in a TV and everybody can see also how is the multiple type wells. So we can display the multiple type wells uh, in StarLite, just really easy. Just send it from the StarSteer, displaying here, look for the well, and the well is going to display the multiple type wells right there. And remember, any changes that you do in StarSteer, that will display here in your StarLite. So the other from the list that actually the developers really like, it was the now in StarLite, you can bring and see the correlation panel. So you have a correlation panel right here, is the next little tab right here. And let's go let it to load, and you have your correlation. So the correlation panel in StarLite is actually is probably the top 5 for me. It's a super easy tool to use, mega ultra beneficial, because remember with StarLite is the to visualize what's going on with the drilling operation. So I might not be able to be on my laptop, but if I have this on displaying in the office, in one of the TVs in the office, I can see how's it drilling, how's it doing the geosteering, and if they have the correlation, I can see where we're going, what we're doing, and all this stuff. So we have here in the correlation panel, we have the offset. If you want to play with the offsets, is kind of the distance, the radius between the wells that you geosteering and the radius of the well near to you, and it's going to appear in right here the list that you can add it. If you want to add any other well into your correlation, just turn on or drag and drop. You can even add it different tracks into your correlation if you want, or whatever data that you have here. I don't know if we have uh, any specific information for this one. I trying to remember, but you can add in information, you can add information tops and all that good stuff. But what happens if you just want to project the correlation that you have here in your StarSteer inside over there? That's no problem. I create this kind of a regional correlation. I have my gamma rays on RP, the bunch of well, my formation top, and everything. And I want to send this on to StarLite. So the whole people is looking the well, the management team or the bosses or the assets team, whoever is watching the well, they want to see also to see a little bit the geology. We can do that, and we just click here. It's going to ask you, you want to add it for the 13 wells? Say, yes, sir. Please do it for me. So now we add it right there, and right now I'm just going to go here, and it's going to ask me, do you want to open the safe view? And I'm going to say, yeah, sure. So you saw how long actually took it to send my wells for my correlation that I have in my stars here into my StarLite. So you can zoom out and zoom in and play with all that information, flatten to one formation top if you want. Anything that you want that you created in your stars here that you want to show as a correlation, you can do it really simple and really nice. It's nothing that actually have to do with the correlation, with the uh, gamma ray and everything. However, if you have XRF data and you create a template for XRF data you want to display, you can create a StarSteer, send it and display your XRF, all the minerals here in StarLite. Or you create your own personal EDR. So you have the torque, you have the pumps, you have the hook lobe, all that information that you're streaming inside the StarSteer, created your correlation panel as your personal EDR, and you just want to send it to see for the people in StarLite. You can do it as well. So use your imagination, see how flexible and how fast it was to add it the correlation panel. I can say it's not only with the one that just changes. I can go here and start adding. If I want to add a different of the top, a different data, you can go select and start adding all that information inside the StarSteer and the StarLite correlation panel. So that was a really nice addition to the StarLite and to the StarLite functionality. It was to be able to add the correlation panel that worked really fast and really nice in conjunction with the StarSteer. So that was also one of my probably top five, like I was mentioned right there, probably top three, I will say, that the tools that I like. All right, so can we see no any other question, Rob?
No, not for now.
Awesome. So let's go talking about the next part of the list, the top 10, which again, it wasn't in a specific order. It was an easy order to follow kind of a workflow. Now we're talking about our DrillSpot. So the DrillSpot is a fantastic drilling analytical tool that we have inside the ROGII universe. If you're not familiar with this tool, like I can give you a really brief introduction, is a tool that trying to combine two disciplines, the drilling engineering and the geoscience, the geology, and geosteer. So what you can do with the DrillSpot is connecting with actually all your StarSteer project, and you can see here all the formations and the target lines, everything that you added and you modify and you using during the geosteering the well automatically is going to show here in the DrillSpot. The data can be the time and depth data, and this one you can modify anywhere that you want. I just created these templates right here. I just put in here my 3D view. I created here, added my tool face tools if I want to. I created little time series here from kind of EDR. You're gonna see the whole depth, bit depth, RPM, surface torque. You can add it to any of the traces that you're streaming using SoloFit input inside the projects, and you can be streaming here in DrillSpot. Fantastic, fantastic tool. Right here, if I want to save it and use it for another project, you can save it the templates that anything that you want, you can create a new one. You have a cross plot, you have days versus night, different type of information. So I can show you, we have here, we call it the drilling optimization, and we just creating here is an EDR more or less, and you have in that information, zoom in, zoom out. You can add any of the tracks that you want. You can add in comments a bunch of different data that you can add it right here. If I have here, this one is a really nice because it's using drilling optimization. Just let me turn off this on my cross plot. You can see the cross plot. And this one, what it's doing is creating a heat map. I have the well that I drilling and gonna create a heat map and I road map. This is the Y one with compared with the offset wells. And you can see why between this formation between the well that I drilling was less efficient the well that I drilling. You can create your cross plot. You can add in even information based on the rig activity if you're sliding, rotating, oscillating, and all this stuff. I mean, it's a bunch of drilling information that you can combine with the geology that you drill in the well. You can display here in DrillSpot. Fantastic information. We even have here the days versus depths. If you want to compare how far you went drilling in this formation, all that different data with KPIs too. You can select your KPIs to see how was it tripping, how long it took, even by crew, day or night crew. You can select and see that information right there. It's a really powerful tool, super simple to create all this stuff. It's not, they will take you days. No, you can do this on probably in 1 minute. But the one they actually, the developers really like and they were excited about it, it was that we added anti-collision tools and we added anti-collision calculations inside the DrillSpot. You can be steering the well and you are the geosteer, you're probably doing your job, which is steering the well, putting from here to there. But the drillers, they actually always alert that what happened if we have multiple wells. I mean, if we're talking about in Canada, they drill those beautiful looking fish-bone wells, or if we're drilling here in the Eagle Ford or Permian, they have hundreds of thousands of wells. If you were using Solo Data Factory, you will see in the location of those wells. Uh, you can be worried about, hey, what happens if we get closer to one well, or if we're not doing that one. So the developer team from the DrillSpot team, they just adding calculation for the anti-collision. So here in this is in one of the mapping cross-section view, you can see that calculation and those tables added right there. So here is between the survey, here is my deep, the last survey, the bit depth right there, and it's going to tell you, hey, between the upset 1, 2, and 3, this one is different calculation that we added. But how we added those calculations is actually is quite interesting. I'm not going to get super deep into that one, but the calculation, it was, you have one well that you're drilling, you have the other upset wells, you have your well trajectory, you importing all your surveys, and right here is when you start that giving the characteristics, the surface hole location, the depth reference, the inclination, the magnetics, that all that data. And we have here also different type of survey programs, depend that you want to do. I'm not going to go into the math of every single one of them. If you're interested, just let us know, and we can help you explain it more in depth with that one. But you can apply that one, different mathematical information and models, and it's going to help you to calculate it, you anti-collision. So when you're doing that one, you can display that data here on your 3D, or you can display right there. So we go to the well format. Right here, we're going to have the well format here, and we have which wells that we use them as an upset well. In this case, they're using 12 different wells. I just display all these four, but you can do an X amount of wells using to help you to do the calculation from the anti-collision, and it's going to probably set an alarm and show you that data. Right here, what you see in this well is the ellipsoid. I can turn it off, and the cons and the certitude, and you can see that one. All this data, this information for the target line, the well plan, is coming from the geosteering information that is linking directly inside the DrillSpot, and is helping the drillers to drill a more efficient well and in an easier way, and also helping the geosteering to understand a little bit more about the operation. So we're trying to do the kind of the hard battle between the drillers and the geologists to working as a happy, nice family friends in one good environment. Also in the DrillSpot, we have here the AI is exactly the same as the other AI. You just click in right here, you type in, and you added the information, and it's going to help you, the AI, to find that information. I don't know, you want to see the last survey point, you can ask a multiple different type of information or question here, and the AI is going to take it, that data for you, and it's going to display right there. Question, Rob? Well, I see you've been answered. Thank you.
Yes. Emad had a question. There's some restrictions in our chat you couldn't write in the comment. If anyone else has any issues, please just message me directly and I'll paste in the chat like I just did here. He's asking about the RogiiAI and also the ChatGPT extension. So I know you showed the RogiiAI within StarSteer, and that's natural language prompting. Now, can you actually show the ChatGPT web extension just to show it's like an actual ChatGPT window that you can code with as well?
Let me open that one. I might have it here safe on my open, because I closed all the windows before the webinar. So, but yes, sure. I just trying to open it here on the other side. So let me open new chat. So right here, I just opened one stream. This one is a scripter for ChatGPT. So if we go here to the StarSteer scripter for ChatGPT, this one is totally free. anybody can have access with that one, and we just create a scripter. So basically with the StarSteer scripter, we've been feeding a ChatGPT for a while now, probably almost 2 years, with all the functionalities and all the changes inside StarSteer. So basically what you do is just ask a question. Let's say one of these, and please calculate the sync StarSteer sync task for calculated shell volume. So the ChatGPT is gonna reading the question, is gonna go looking into all the database that will be feeding, and it start gonna give you the answer. In this case, it's gonna give you this one is the visual calculation, it's explaining to you the equation, and it's just the descriptor for you. The only thing you need to do is copy the descriptor, go back to your your Python script, create a new script, go here, Control V, voila, you have the script right there. Is You can ask multiple question. You can create your own scripter, and even use it sometimes to ask question about the software, because it's been feeding with a lot of the StarSteer information that you can probably ask some question, and they might give you some information about the software, like how can change color here and there. So it's a really powerful tool. I use it quite often to create and help clients with different Python scripts. I just ask the questions that please help me to create a script to calculate X and Y and Z. Remember, it's a scripture. Uh, you might have to tweak it few times, but it's giving you really good result, and it's an easy, faster way to work with Python. I know we have people that in our company, they're really good with Python, because they know Python, the coding. This one for them is easier because they even know better how to ask the most specific question, and they tweak it in seconds. So they can get a fantastic results using with the ChatGPT scripter. So if you go to the ChatGPT, you go to the scripter, it's gonna be adding right there. So it's a really powerful tool. So you have option 1 or option 2, whatever you want to use.
Imad, did you have a follow-up question? I see your hand up there. Are you able to turn on your mic?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you first, Robert, for conveying my questions, and you, Carlos, for answering. Actually, the ChatGPT in our company is disabled, and we cannot use it at all. So once I saw that there is another way to use AI inside, I'm very happy, actually. That's why I'm asking about it, if it is available, that we can use it. I'm not sure that if this is the version, because we use version 24, and I think you use version 25.
Yes, it's
So here I didn't see the Chat GPT normal one, but here ask Rogi to AI, which is very, very nice if it is available right now. So no need to use ChatGPT anymore. Am I right or understand quite well?
Yes, I mean you can use one of the other one. They both are available, and this one I using I forgot to mention, but I using the latest version 2025.3. But you can see I think it's 25.1. We added that AI right there, and you can start seeing and use it. And yes, that's a good question. A lot of the ITs don't like to let users to use the ChatGPT in their environment. Understandable. That's why you have also the other option, which is really embedded right there in the Python script window. So you can use one or the other one if you want. Or you can do like if some of the clients use it, they are not supposed to use any their environment. So they have the cell phone. They use the question, the ChatGPT on their app, and email uh, the script to their personal email and copy and work that way. So people find the
Correct.
way. That was
Correct.
funny that one of the clients have were students like, hey, if it worked for you, it worked fine. So
Okay.
that's a good question. Thank you so much.
And
All right.
thank you for this. And
Mhm,
that's a good news. Thank you. Thank you.
mhm. All right. So we're gonna keep talking about the favorites and the top 10 tools that we were developing and displaying in 2025. So this one, Solofit, is actually, I will say, probably by far my favorite tools of all the ROGII tools. Um, is because it's a super, super, super simple tool to use, and it's a really powerful tool uh, to get the data. So because with a solo feed input in this case is a fantastic tool when you have to stream in information inside the StarSteer. You can stream in for different type of sources if you want. We have the for the email parsing. We have XML for different data providers, Solobox, Innova, NOV, Paysom. Different type of data providers that you can do. And with the solo feed, you just pretty much set it and forget it. And you can stream in data for multiple wells in one project at the same time. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I shut down my computer, I lost internet in my house, I don't have electricity. As far the rig side, when they're transmitting the data, they have internet and electricity. If they don't have it, they probably stop operation if they don't have electricity or internet because everything is communicated. All the data is sent to you. Again, you set it and forget it. So it's a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic tool. Plus, this time they just did it more awesome. They added to change between the dark appearance and the light mode. It's just a click. It's even better. So those guys they're winning by far. The the solo feed team. So talking about the solo feed, the one of the changes that were for the developer team for the in charge of the solo feed, it was we including solo output. So the input is you bring in the data, you're streaming the data inside StarSteer, like I show you in DrillSpot, or you train the well in your StarSteer, you're getting all the logs, trajectories, and all that information. Like here, I have all this data is streaming right now inside my well, but we added the Solo Connect, which was the tool that helping to take information for the StarSteer out into different databases. So that's why we call it solo feed output. So solo feed input is you bring the data. Solo feed output is the one that's going to help you to take data out. So what are you talking about the taking data out? Some people have different databases on their organization, SQL Server database, Snowflake, for example, uh, and they like to move the data from different software into one central database, and they can probably do some analytical, some other type of information they want to do it based on the data they have. So instead of doing anymore in Solo Connect, we put it everything inside the Solo Fit family. That's why we call it Solo Output, which is pushing out. You just set the credential for the SQL Server database, or if you're using a Snowflake, the account and all this stuff, you set it up in those sites. And after that, you just add here the type of job. Let me select this one. That is a job is already in process. And I just start selecting the data that I just want to move. So all the data, or pretty much all the data that you have inside you, it starts your project. You can select and turn on, make sure that the schema for you have in the StarSteer matching the schema in a SQL Site-based or Snowflake on the other database, and you can select what is the data that you want to add it. In this case, if you have the well header, you have the well name, X and Y data, so far so on, and all that information, the information types, the logs, all this data that you have, do you see here, you can turn up, select it, making sure that it's matching that you have in your database. And after that, you just go here and push it. So it's taking the data that you have in your StarSteer project and automatically do it for you. You don't have to export, import, put in different files. It just this one is going inside the ROGII database, reading all that information that you told it to move, and is pushing into the SQL Server database, a Snowflake, or any other database that you work with in your organization. You can do it one time. You can even do it here, create a schedule and just add it. Hey, I want to do that one to push in the data every Friday at 2 p.m. or every other week or at the end of the month. So you just schedule, you don't have to worry about it to push it anymore. It's all the data up to that day for the projects that you work in that you're telling that you want to push. It's automatically going to push. It's going to take that data inside the StarSteer and move it out of the StarSteer inside to any of the databases that you use it. And after that, if you have to do, I don't know, Power BI or a TIPCO or any of those, doing analytical, you can do with the data for the it starts here just fine. So it's a really powerful tool to moving data out to more like a databases to storage or anything that you want to do inside StarSteer. That's why it also was one of the top 10 because we uh, took it out of from the Solo Connect and making easier just directly here for Solo Feed. So you can be streaming the data in Solo Feed. I'm drilling the well. I'm streaming the data. Here's the data that I'm streaming, but I have also to push data out, and I can just do it right here in one environment, one super simple, and telling the software, hey, you know what? For this project, all the wells inside, if I want to, just push it out into the database. So that's why it was one of the really nice tools that we added for the year 2025. It was a fantastic addition. As you can see, it's extremely simple to use. I have no idea about a Snowflake database, a SQL, a little bit more understandable, but this one is, I just need to know. I mean, someone else on the data science, I can figure out that one, tell me the schemas, what the tables are. I just select it, click it, push it, and move the data from here to the next one. So since we're talking about the solo feed, the next point is gonna be the boss dashboard. Great addition to all the ROGII families tool and universe that we have. So with the boss dashboard, you can, this one didn't like the internet here. Uh, uh, you have all the data that you have in your solo input, right? You're drilling the data, you're drilling the well, and it's bringing that information. So all that data is streaming. You can go to solo.cloud if you have a solo feed and solo feed set it up and you streaming the data, you can see that information right here. So what it actually does as solo a boss dashboard is to creating these little scout tickets. So these scout tickets is asking you or is showing you the information about the well. So I set it up, I drill this well, and you can see here they have the whole depth. I set it up for different information. Let me refresh here because the internet, what I recording this one is a little bit finicky, so the probably is that one. I use the Wi-Fi, so I apologize for that one. So we have all that information. So you can see here, this one is established for the StarSteer and streaming the data. So right here, you have the different parameters. You select what you want to stream from solo feed, and you can have a different numerical widget values. You can see the RP, RPN, FFI, all different good stuff, and it's actually kind of a scout ticket. It's super simple to see, super simple to follow. You don't need to open a StarSteer. You drilling 5 wells today, or you've been drilling 5 wells. You want to see follow all of them. You have a meeting. Everybody can open here, and they can see the well what's going on. The changes that we added 25 is that we can streaming the DDR, which is the reports that they send you every day or twice a day or whatever time they send you. The rig side, the company name, or the tool push sending that report with the drilling operation for that day is sending to, we can do in the email parsing, which is taking the email and distribution list and streaming automatically using solo feed into your well inside that one in the ROGII environment. We have an AI taking that information and is taking the whole report and is create first kind of a synopsis here, but you can move your mouse and change it and see that information. For example, here, this is kind of the synopsis, but here is the whole report. So it's telling you, I don't know, drilling ahead, blah, 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 motor RPM was 116, GPI, blah, blah. You know, all the different drilling activities of what happened. We did a rig service, top drive fail, NWD fails, or we have to trip out for bit change. All that information is sent right here in the DDR and is automatically transmitting inside the StarSteer. And you can see here, there is a synopsis, is our internal AI checking that information and displaying. Or if you want to read it, actually the whole report is right here. This well, they don't have any because they've been not sending, or there was not set up, or the company mind is doesn't want to send it. Who knows what? That's why you don't see it. But these all the other wells, we have it. So it's a fantastic, fantastic tool. This one, they have a lot of stuff right there. They copy a lot of the information. So that was also one of the changes we did it for 2025 that if actually was really create an impact, especially if you're working with the solo dashboard that you can see the scout ticket, if you will. And right here, you probably you've seen we're simulating this well. They're saying this drilling, the sleep is actually telling you the rig activity and all that. It's showing super nice right there. And you can even go here in these wells and select in this one. And if I want to open it starts here, I open it starts here right away. So it's a super nice, well done tool to display that information that you have your drilling activities. You have it right here in Solo Dashboard. So let me go back to here real quick because we have one more tool that we need to show you. That is also, it was the last one. So I'm not going to show you my cell phone on the app because it's going to be too complicated. So my good friend Rob, that is helping with the question, he created these beautiful, nice looking videos, and I was like, oh, perfect. I will use them because it's easier to explain. So the other changes we did with the StarLite Mobile, which in this case is going to be right now for iOS for Apple products, it's coming really soon for Android. So you can even see kind of the same boss dashboard when you open, you have the app in your cell phone and you open it and you start looking the information and view connecting. You can see that one here is kind of the app. I just trying to open in my cell phone when I showing that one. So it's going to show you real quick how they kind of look like. I don't know if you can see this. It's why I'm trying to avoid to do it. It's easier to see on the little video right there. So it's just the same that I kind of show you in with the boss dashboard. You can do it in your app. So you have multiple wells. You're drinking coffee in the morning, or you are in the supermarket and you want to see what's going on with your drilling activity. I know we are drilling. You can quickly put it off your app and you can scroll to every single of the wells that you have streaming. You're set it up for you, and you can see the data right there. It's look really nice, really clear. You can even see what is the logs activity. You can display in the little curve. If you have the DrillSpot, you can see that drilling information right there in the middle one. You can see the showing the one is sliding, drilling, rotating, and all that. And the last one in the horizontal is if you are the Geosteering, you can even Geosteering using your cell phone. You can see it. The Geosteering well that is working is the same way that you see in StarLite, but you can do it here in your mobile app or the mobile or the a tablet. You can do it in both. It's the same app, but you can even geosteer it literally using the mobile app. You put your segment, your stuff moving up and down, and target lines and all this stuff in the mobile app. So this one was kind of the last one that I want to show you because it was kind of the closing for the top 10 tools that we added inside StarSteer. So to finalize, If you have any question, please let us know. Or if you want to keep in touch and you have more questions asking later, you always have the support email, the phone number, or you can go to the ROGII.com and you can see a lot of the tools if you're interested to dig in a more in one of the tools of the changes that I show you today. Just let us know. We'll be happy to help you with any of those.